welcome back. Or if you're new here, welcome to another edition of Kingly Conversations, man. And we got another hot one for you today. But before we get into all of that, you know what time it is, man. Zoe's got a shout out.
Year take two. Hey, shout out to everybody who's been listening. Thank you. We appreciate you on this journey. Also, I want to go ahead and put this out there. There's a lot of people out there that say they want to be on a podcast show, and we are inviting you. Open arms, open door, the windows cracked. Holla at your boys. That's all I got.
All right. Hey, this week, we're revisiting an old topic. We're talking about why black people can't be Republicans, part 2. At least that's what society says. So strap in. Let the kings talk about it. Good people, and welcome back to another edition of Kingly Conversations, man. And as I am every single week, you know who it is. It's Alan.
It's your boy Twine, aka Twine. Ask me about my podcast, man. You know what time it is. Let's go.
It's your friend, your mentor, Calvin D. Hill.
Yeah. What's going on, peoples?
Okay, I guess we got to get into this one more game.
Copy that. Hey, sound check real quick, fellas. Just want to make sure everybody good on the background. Do you hear anything on my side? Because we are, ladies and gentlemen, we're recording remote today, so hopefully the sound comes through clear and there's no background noises. But I'm asking.
Who's good on your side?
It's good on my side. Okay, I'm asking because I know my daughter's upstairs. I can hear her talking. She got a client up there right now, so she's doing some hair. All right, bet. All right, that's all I wanted to make sure.
Like I can still hear Charlie, but you know.
Yeah.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all like dogs, man, Charlie's in the background. He wants some attention, and Calvin said no. So just a while ago on our first take, because this is like our second time recording, Charlie actually pulled the cord to his Wi-Fi.
He's stupid.
And it completely shut his system down, so he had to start all over again. So welcome back, Calvin. Good to see you moving. We could check you out.
Look, say everything's smooth now. I'll just mute back and forth. That's
fine. We appreciate that. So, gentlemen, the topic for today: Black people can't be Republicans, part 2. Alan, go ahead, man. Start us off, man. What we got?
I mean, I essentially was trying to, in getting on this topic, we were trying to talk about how we even got here in the first place. How do we get to the point where the vast majority of black people in the United States weren't Republicans anymore? Because the vast majority of them started out as Republicans. And then over time, between the 20s and the 60s, we started switching to a different party, right? And we started switching to a different party for a lot of significant reasons, most of which have to do with the makeup of the parties began to change. In that, yes, you know, the current Republican Party loves to talk about how they're the party that freed the slaves, although Lincoln didn't want to actually free the slaves. He did it because that was a good bargaining chip to win the war. He just wanted to preserve the Union. So to me, we can throw that out, because people that actually know history know that Lincoln didn't want. He said it himself. If he could preserve the Union and not free the slaves, he would do it. If he had to free the slaves to preserve the Union, he would do it. So he didn't care one way or the other about freeing the slaves. He just wanted to preserve the Union. It was actually Frederick Douglass who convinced him to make freeing the slaves a focal point of the war, because they were losing support behind the war in the first place. And Frederick Douglass multiple times came to him and said, hey, if we make this about freeing the slaves, we can probably garner more support, and it would keep France and Britain out of the war. That was the other part of that people don't really realize, is that the only reason that the North was able to win the Civil War is because France and Britain did not join on the side of the South, because there were considerations that they might join on the side of the South because they were getting a lot of their sugar, a lot of their cotton, a lot, and other goods from the agrarian South. because they were shipping all of those things over to Europe. And so there was a concern in the North that Europeans would join the war. But once you made the war about slavery, now they kind of can't join the war because they had already abolished slavery before we had.
Mm.
So let's not. So that's why I said when people bring that up as an argument, as Lincoln, the party of Lincoln, the party to free the slaves, it's like let's not be. We're being disingenuous when we make that point. Where you know that he didn't want to do it, you know that he didn't even have the right to do it because the South had already seceded. So essentially, you're telling another sovereign nation that you're freeing their slaves, but in order for that to be true, you have to win. So people always talk about how, the Emancipation Proclamation, well, that only because they weren't the United States of America anymore, because there was the Confederate States of America and the United States of America. He only freed the slaves in the Confederate States of America. He didn't even free the slaves in the North. Because it's not like the North didn't have slaves. So anyway, that's how we got here. Because, we always talk about, my thing is you can be whatever party you want, but just don't lie to yourself about why you with the party. That's all. Don't lie to yourself about why you're at the party, and actually know something. Don't be dumb. That's my biggest thing. Is just don't be dumb.
Don't be dumb. I like that.
And dumb is another word for stupid. So just don't be dumb. Learn something about what you're about. Because if we really look at it from the black person's perspective, neither party has been great to black people. Not black people specifically. Most of the things that most of the strides that we have made also benefited everyone else in the nation. It wasn't like there were policies that were put in place that only benefited black people. Almost everything that was put in place for, quote unquote, for black people also benefited everyone else.
Well, that's all the politics. So I do have a question, though. I don't know if we talked about this before, but I believe we did. But just to recap on the first part, did we talk about our individual participation in regards of which side of the political party do y'all lean towards?
I don't think we
in general
so much said like if we were Republican, Democrat, or Independent, or whatever else.
Okay.
In the past, I will say I have voted because I was in the military and I voted Republican for the benefits. And really, that's all it was.
So now that
most of the time, I feel like most people just vote for their own personal benefit, what they can gain from it. It's not about the political views or actually the stances of the parties. Some people feel like, oh, I'm just voting Republican because my bank account was better when Trump was in office, or I could buy this, that. Hey, man, that's foolishness. But if that's what you want to go with, but also I understand how they take different topics and issues and try to split the people anyway. So it's like abortion and everything else, or they try to use religion for the Republican Party. I'm like, that's not even the thing either, because you can't base any decisions of that the government makes off of religion, sex, creed, and all this other stuff. So why are you trying to say, oh, Christians should vote Republican? Nah, bro, they don't work like that. Think about it. But then at the same time, we feel like we get better social issues, healthcare, and education and other stuff when Democrats get in office. I mean, people kind of pick and choose. Well, that's how they split it. That's how they divide it up and sell it to us. Mm-hmm. That's how it's sold. And the media has done an excellent job. And especially the last two elections, they have done a wonderful job for everyone. So
personally, the media is giving you what you want.
Yeah, the media is giving the people what they want. And really, like you said, a lot of people don't take the time to really understand the depth of their party that they say they are a part of or they represent. So, and somewhat, some of it is contradictory, but
to be honest with you, I just wish that more people, and right now I'm assuming, I'm speculating that I wish that more people would focus on policies, like you said before, versus like there's like this stipulation that's always been around ever since I was young, coming up in the household, and you had to be Democratic, or you know what I'm saying, because that's what they at that time, African American household, majority 73% maybe were just Democratic just because.
Yeah, no, but
Just because.
that's where it's sold. A lot of family members say, "Oh, you're black, you should vote
Just
Democrat."
like just
Okay,
like when
that's
yeah.
not that doesn't make sense to me. I need to actually
If you don't vote this, then you're not black. Like, yo, what are you
when
talking
you
about?
but when you say stuff like that, you just told me I'm ignorant and I don't know no better.
Right.
That's what that to me. Whenever a president, especially when Biden said it, I said, okay, he just told all y'all stupid and you don't know no better. So if you feel like you have to say those kind of things to get me to vote for you, I obviously not going to vote for you.
I didn't think
I wouldn't. Me personally, I wouldn't because. But at the same time, it's okay. I ain't going Huey. I'm not going Huey.
Somebody get the matches.
Come on over.
No,
Come over.
I'm not.
Come on.
Malcolm X made the state kind of, and I'm paraphrasing a lot of it. It's like the Republicans will tell you in your face they don't like you. The Democrats would kind of say it behind your back. Which one you want to take? Because neither one was made with you in mind. A lot of the policies and stuff that were created early in the development of the country didn't have black people in mind. So what makes you think it changed? I'll wait, but when I see it, when we start removing some of these questions like what race are you on your college applications and your home loans and some of the other business loans you got to get. When those are removed, that's when I figure out, oh, okay, we might actually be trying to progress in the way we develop the nation.
Why change any of that? Why does that have to change for you to?
But I'm going off on a tangent. I'm going off on a tangent.
Here's the only problem with that, Calvin. Here's the only problem with removing it is if you do remove it in the state of our nation at current, you also then will not be able to determine if there is a bias because you won't have the data to determine if there's a bias.
So there's a bias,
like, no bias anymore because it's not on the application. So we can't say that, oh, this institution rejected 90% of their black applicants for a loan because we don't have that data. Now we don't have to say. So now we can just reject them as soon as we see them.
Oh, okay.
So
that's a good point. So
I agree that we shouldn't have.
I like that.
So we got evidence. So you're saying we have evidence of you being mistreated rather than the data that you've been mistreated rather than we're hiding that you've been mistreated.
Assuming.
Right. That's it.
That's it. No, I understand. I understand.
Yes, I agree that we shouldn't really have to use it and we shouldn't really need to put it. But the other thing that comes with that is now you eliminate that. So instead of putting it on, like say for a job application, because they're gonna know what you are as soon as they see you.
Right.
And so then if it's not in the application, they can just reject you for another reason. And there's no data to say, oh, you mean we don't have X amount of or why are there not more people in positions of authority of these ethnic backgrounds? Because it doesn't necessarily just have to be black. We're black, obviously, but it could be any ethnic background. Why are there not more people?
Latino,
because that data won't exist. But in any event, what Zoe was saying, I mean, I think that people should vote policies, but I also think that they should. I also don't agree most of the time, or really any of the time, with single issue voters, because I do know a lot of single issue voters, and to me that doesn't make that much, because you're saying I will throw the rest of the country in the toilet as long as I get this one thing.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason why it doesn't make sense to me, because it's like, what is the priority? Is this one issue the entire priority? So we don't care if all the jobs are shipped off to another country, as long as we say you can't abort children, or as long as we say I get to like. So that's been my issue with. I think we should always be voting on policies, but as we know, like right now. For the current Republican Party, we don't from the president anyway, we have no policies.
But that's not the design. The design, like you said, okay, so if I have a single issue that I'm hard set on, that's my deal breaker. I will slide in the other issues that I want to get taken care of right in there with it, and make my whole stance, my whole campaign based on hey, you said you wanted better jobs in America. Yeah, all right. So that's my whole issue. But I'm sliding everything else in that you're not aware of.
Right.
And
Both parties
that's
do it, but that's what I'm saying. Both
yeah.
parties do it. I don't. I'm
You
not
don't
a fan.
what?
Either way,
Sorry.
I'm not a fan. I'm not trying to get in trouble, but I'm not. I'm not a fan. I
You gonna get in
feel like
trouble?
getting bamboozled.
How you gonna get in trouble?
Every now and
Oh,
again, I feel like I'm being bamboozled.
You are being
Every now and again,
the problem.
it
So
feel,
here's the thing, and this is the unfortunate place that we find ourselves in, essentially a two-party system, because there are more than a few people saying, well, there are other people to vote for. Yeah, a bunch of people that can't win. You can go vote for them, but they can't
right,
win. So why are we
right.
voting for people that can't win? Like they should be like, I mean, unfortunately for Jill Stein, like people can vote for Jill Stein, but she ain't got a snowball. I'm gonna use this entire phrase, right? She don't have a snowball's chance in hell of winning. And I'm trying to figure out why they
Ted Cruz could have
why they
been a good candidate.
no, he couldn't. Not after he abandoned Texas, he couldn't. When
oh
it
yeah,
was
that was. I remember that.
cold here, all the power is out. I'm taking my family. We get on a jet. We going to Mexico.
Good luck, everybody else.
He was not. No, he could not, because they would have threw that in his face every.
Nah.
When Texas needed help, you left and left them all alone, and you supposed to be a senator from the great state of
Good
Texas.
luck, everybody else.
But I do think that ideally you would vote policies. The problem is most people don't even know the policies. And like even now, people are talking about Project 2025, and the Republican Party is trying to distance themselves from it. But we can look at the numbers. In the last time that a Republican was president, they pushed forward 65% of what was in then Project 2016. This document has come out every single presidential election, and every Republican president has pushed forward the policies that are in it to the tune of more than half every single time. More than half of the policies they outline end up being in the hands either as an executive order or as something that the Congress has pushed forward and tried to push into law.
Gotcha.
So they can say or they don't say, but they're lying.
Okay, I'm about to say, so that means that is no possible way that the candidate that's running on the Republican side doesn't know anything about it.
Because they put people in place to make sure that you know about it. So they put people in positions, them being the think tank that create the document, the mandate for leadership. They put people in place in government so that they can either have the ear of the president or the ear of somebody else that has the ear of the president. So they're essentially working as the inside man every time there's a Republican president. The only time they don't really get what they want is if there is a Democratic Congress with a Republican president. But even if there is a Republican Congress with a Democratic president, they will get what they want most of the time. Because it's not that none of the stuff that they put forward make any sense. It's just that everything that gets into the news is like, what? This is outrageous, but nobody thinks about all the little things that move the needle 1%, 1%, 1%, 1%. They're only looking at the thing that will move the needle 60%, but they're not looking at the minute things that they're putting in place to prepare themselves for things in the future. But in terms of me, I try to vote policies. The problem is if you got policies that come with a lot of what we call a lot of emotional. Right? If you got a baggage with your policy, then I find it hard to. And if you are just a vile human being, I don't. That once I can. If I determine you're a vile human being, I really don't care what your policies are at that point.
But I think character, and I'm hoping to guessing you're talking about as far as candidates' character.
Yeah,
that's what you're talking about, being a vile human being. I think that went out the window a while ago. I'm again, just my opinion. I feel like the character of the candidates is not even a consideration there. Yeah, people do not care whether this person is have any integrity or anything like that. No, that's obviously not the question. Whether they'll be, whether they would be for the people is completely out of the question. whether they would invade your own country, completely out of the question. Like, will they abuse their power? Absolutely, they will. That's completely out of the question. Are they crooks? I think we've set up that several times. I mean, so character isn't even in judgment anymore to be a candidate.
You ain't lying about that.
It's obvious. It's obvious. There's no mystery to that.
Well, you just have to decide if you're voting for Sauron or Saruman.
They working together. They working together. That's my point. They're on the same team.
Pepsi and Cola got all the same thing.
They on the same team, man. That's my thing. So this year, I really believe I'm gonna let the Electoral College do what they do. They have my complete support.
I mean, they're going. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, and this is the thing that we haven't really ever talked about. Is I'm not sure, and you would have to tell us, Calvin, because you be in the spirit, in body, mind, spirit.
Look.
I don't know. I'm not for sure that people of at least the Christian faith should even be voting.
Okay, so here you go. All right, so here you go. Now, and this is very unpopular. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you this now. Most of the time, well, in the olden days, people like to use the Bible, misuse it, and everything else. You would look at the king, right? And however the king would go, the country would go.
Right.
Okay. So to me, if that was a principle then, and I'm a Christian, and I don't believe God changed his rules and guidelines, I would take a good look at the leader and then look at my country and figure out which one, how was it going when you were in charge? How was my country doing?
They can't do that.
Your leadership.
They can't do that. You know why they can't do that? Because when people these policies and when people put policies in place, they don't always.
Hey man, I understand that.
So
I understand that, but
like even because I remember during the first stint of President Trump's candidacy, the first time he was elected, I knew there were people where I worked at the time that were duped into believing that, oh, he said he was going to lower my taxes, only to find out their taxes went up. 3 years later. It took it 3 years because you got to still get through all that stuff through Congress and the House. So but then that policy is in effect for 4 years after that.
Again, so if you see a trend, if you see a pattern, okay, if you know it takes, okay, they're in office this year, so 1, 2, 3, bang, you see the effects of them being in office. What happened? If you want to use that, they don't see
that.
Like you can't just use logic. You don't have to really. Okay, he's in office. This is what happened. These are the things that were done. We're not making this up.
What happened?
It happened.
What happened?
So now you say, okay, now what? You don't want to use that to determine whether.
Alvin?
Man,
no matter what you say at this point, no matter what you say, no matter what happens, there's always a twist of perspective. There's a twist of the words that's being said. There's a twist of the narrative. So even if, for example, if there was an insurrection, no, it wasn't.
Insurrection?
No, it wasn't.
No,
what?
These were
that was good people on both sides, bro. Come on,
always
wake up.
On both sides, man.
Wake up.
I don't know what you're
talking
woke.
About.
I don't know what you're talking
anyway,
about.
So let's free those people in there because they shouldn't be in there at all, and they shouldn't have been convicted for the so-called crime. Like crime. Who said it was a crime to storm onto the Capitol Hill and threaten and injure and kill folks? It's not a crime. The freedom of speech.
I don't know what Calvin talking about.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Are you a Republican or you not? You know what I mean? What set you claiming, son?
I know my right.
What set are you claiming out here in these streets?
What
the blue or the red?
Exactly.
See, y'all got mad at me. Oh, I see now the first one coming back because I said gang. Y'all said don't say that no more. Don't say that no more. And that's what
my Wi-Fi's lagging.
Y'all you
My
can't say
Wi-Fi
it
is
like
like
that, Calvin. You can't say pick a side. This ain't the
so.
street. This ain't Bloods and Crips. This
Okay,
ain't the red and blue. This
all right.
ain't the
So
elephant and the donkey.
it is definitely an elephant and a donkey
Hey
because
man,
that's
listen,
what I see when I look at the
What
campaigns
we really
and
need, we don't have.
the rallies.
listen.
Huh?
We need a
So
plurality. That's what we need, but we don't have. We're not gonna have one anytime soon.
We
I
need a
tell
what now?
anybody,
What'd you
Plurality.
say?
We need
What Alan?
more than two parties that have not that really have a
Oh, more than
shot.
two parties. Oh,
But
yeah. Even the
until,
independents, I don't think they've ever had a shot. If
well,
all
you
the
know, what the
independent folk
problem
out
is,
there.
like, so independents have a shot in local government, and then if you do a good job there, then then it paves the way for other people in third parties to be able to sit in these positions. The problem you have is they always just gunning at president. Like, why are you gunning at president? Like, why aren't you gunning at what? Why not try city council?
Yeah, and they don't have the funding. From what I understand, their funding is very limited compared to
The
the
other thing,
the the two main parties.
the other thing that keeps happening is like, so the Libertarian Party, they keep being infiltrated by MAGA Republicans. Because really, you got, unfortunately for everybody, you really do have more than one party, but you have Republicans, MAGA Republicans, and then you have even further right, far right Republicans. Those really should be three separate parties. In other countries, they would be three separate parties. It's just in our country, they're all still Republicans.
Under
And
the
it'd be
same umbrella.
on the Democrat side, you'd have the moderate Democrats, you'd have left-leaning Democrats, and then you'd have progressives. Those would be three different parties. But
Right.
here it isn't. Because you have
So
moderate you have Republicans and Democrats that are really centrist, but they're on the Republican or Democrat side.
all right, I just want to make sure that we hit this topic, the title itself. So the title says, what does the title say? Let me see.
black people can't be Republicans. That is not
Okay,
the
thank you.
truth.
That,
It's
do you
obviously
agree or
no.
disagree? That's what I thank you.
Obviously, the question is no. The answer is no. We don't agree with that. You can be any party you want. Just because you black don't mean you have to be the Democrat. But just because you black don't mean you have to be Republican. I'm gonna say you need to use your head and do some homework research for whatever party you voting for, especially now. And if you don't see this trick being played in front of your face this time, then I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, hey man, see, I'm not gonna keep taking this disrespect out here, man. You talking about something if you don't see
y'all,
what, Calvin?
listen. Now I'm gonna step to the side. I'm
See
gonna
what?
step to the side and look. I'm gonna let the God-fearing man I am speak this time. Hey man, I don't like none of it. None of it. Neither one this time. And I'll be the first to tell y'all. Get ready for a slap in the face.
What?
I don't
Okay.
care what part. I don't care what party you can go for. I don't like either one of these. This
So
is
why?
not a good look.
My question to anybody who says that, not just you, but just generally speaking, my question to a person that says that and has that perspective, what don't you like about it? Are you tired of the antics? Are you talking about the policies? Like, what in particular?
Okay. I'm tired of.
Are you referring to?
I am tired of the way the media has manipulated things. One.
Oh yeah, the media
Two,
is out there.
I'm tired of having candidates without character too. So you're obviously telling me to my face, you live by a different set of laws and standards than these people. You just told me that again for the 100th time. I already knew it. It's not like you telling me something I didn't know, but you paraded it in my face.
Mm-hmm.
Let Calvin Hill have half. Not even half. That's 2 charges. 2. Let me get 2 charges of. Let me have any group act like we're going to a government. Let me have any of that. Let my name be mentioned in any of that. Guess where I will be? Is without question.
Running for president.
No. All right, two. Hey, we're gonna come back to that. What's the requirements to be a president? We're gonna come back to that. Okay. Let me be falsely accused or have a felony charge. I couldn't do half the stuff. I couldn't even go to work tomorrow if I did. I couldn't go to work. I didn't say run for office.
I don't think you can.
I didn't say I will run for office. I said I couldn't go to work.
Right. Yep. You couldn't.
Mm-hmm. Come on, man. Y'all get out of my face, man. And that's your candidate. All right. So that's one. Okay. That's that side of the house. We all know that. Okay. Other side of the house. You knew goodness well for the last year and some change that guy was sick anyway. You saw his health deteriorating. You saw he wasn't going to be able to keep up. You saw what he was doing. He was
like, well, what are you supposed to say?
Okay, I'm going to step down and let another person.
Yes, but
listen. Ahead of time. I'm saying you saw that train coming. You going to let this candidate go up in the last? You only got 4 months. No, that's not how you do that.
Well, you act like
you
they
saw that train coming, man. You should have let her. If you're gonna put her up there, you should have gave her the same amount of time to do her work, to go ahead and campaign and to go out there and do it. Not the last minute you trying to put it all together. Come on, man.
I don't think they wanted to put her up there either. That was just their best option. They didn't have another option. Who else was they gonna put up there? Name a person from their party that they could have put up there.
In the famous words of Calvin, I'll wait.
I mean, I wait because they had nobody else. They had nobody else.
Man, they had plenty.
Who?
I believe they could have had, but for the unity of the party and to make everything look good, get the vice in there, let her do her thing. She gonna get it.
Well, who?
Get it anyway.
Who are they gonna get? Who are they gonna name? I'm saying you saying that, but I'm saying name a person.
Hold on. Because I gotta pull
you find somebody.
Yeah, you can. Dude, the Democratic Party is not short on candidates. I'm saying it's just not short on candidates.
They couldn't. They couldn't.
I'm saying I believe it was.
Alan,
like
you said, up a little bit.
She was put in there.
Back up from the mic.
So they couldn't ask Bernie because they already burned Bernie. They did. Hakeem Jeffries. I thought they potentially, but Hakeem Jeffries is only. He's a brand new, leader of the minority party in the House.
I don't like his first name. So next.
Right. That's what they would have got there. I don't like he got a New York accent. Right. That's what people would say. Definitely is from New York. But he may be able to run next time but he also may not have. The other thing that we got to look at is we can name names, but who even has aspirations for the office?
And that's that part. Who really wanted it?
Right. And
who really wanted it?
And I don't even know that Kamala
some people
wanted
like working in the background, making sure.
I think it was more of a okay, we don't have nobody else. I'll do it.
He said, "I don't have nobody else. I got it.
I mean,
okay."
Time she ran, she didn't do that well.
I ain't got it, dog. I ain't got it.
No, I think she do.
Well, she did run before, so you got to look at who ran 4 years ago. Before, because Biden was not even in the race at first and then joined in later. He wasn't in the race in the beginning. So out of those people that ran and the people that could have run or that mentioned that they might run this time before Biden said he was going to run again, those are your list. That's it.
And yeah, because and looking at the history and me, well, excuse me, not the history, but my perspective coming up, because I'm older, so with age, I've been able to see how the parties and how they're run when they campaigning to do to become president. It has become isolated. I feel as if, like Calvin said, there's a lot of people out there, which there are, and then Alan says, well, he named off these names. I feel as if they have narrowed it down to the point where, all right, you get this or you get that. That's it.
Yeah.
Like even on both parties, it's like I think when Donald Trump actually ran for the first time, after that point, I felt like it was diminished. The whole them doing how they normally do, where you got like 4 or maybe 3 candidates from both sides, and then they go to these debates against each other, and then from the debate they go to a choice of which party or which one is going to run for the presidency of each party, and then they get into the head of the one-on-one match between 2 parties. I don't even recall seeing that for a while. Like it's been like, okay, you get this or you get that. That's it.
No, but this time it was so short that got cut out. This time that got cut out for the Democratic Party because the assumption was Biden was going to run.
Right.
No, I'm even talking about before that.
Yeah, no. But that was always
they don't do it.
Yeah,
Alan,
if you're the president, you holding the spot.
How about that?
That's better.
Yeah, you're the president. You holding the spot.
They don't do it. They don't do all that pomp and circumstance that there's a sitting president, because that's the assumption is that person is going to run again.
Right.
Right. All right. Well, that's just
but that's what I was saying. I was saying, yes, he is. Yes. But really, you didn't take into consideration that it might be better if you were really trying to win for the party to let somebody else step up earlier.
Power ain't gonna step down. He thought he was the best part. He was the best path forward until other people were like, "Hey, bro, you bombed on that debate. You were looking like a frail, old, feeble man." But so here's the list of names, Calvin. That now this is from CBS, but this was before it was announced who it was going to be.
Right.
Obviously, the vice president was on there. They had Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia. Do you even know who that is?
No.
Gavin Newsom of California. He probably would have been the best other choice because of his I mean, he will crush you completely and effortlessly in a debate. That is for sure. You had Big Gretch, which is the governor of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer. You had J.P. Pritzker of Illinois. Don't even know who that is. You had Andy Bashar of Kentucky. I know who that is. You had Governor Wes Moore of Maryland. Know who that is. You had Senator Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota. And then you had Pete Buttigieg, Josh Shapiro, who's the governor of Pennsylvania. You had Raphael Warnock, which, the church people ain't going to vote for Warnock.
Well, the church has the church. Well, no, it's different nowadays.
Right. So you got Jeff Poles of Colorado, and you got Roy Cooper of North Carolina. Out of all of those names, your best opportunity was Gavin Newsom and Roy Cooper, which was the governor of California and the governor of North Carolina. Those were your best other options.
And you don't think giving them the proper time?
They didn't have time.
If they had, right? No, that's what I'm saying.
If they
Nobody had time.
Yes.
No,
so if he had said in the beginning, I am re-election, then yes.
That's what I'm saying. But they had time.
They did not have time, and he probably
okay. I see, because I have.
If he hadn't bombed on that debate, he probably would still be the one running right now.
Gotcha. So I do recall hearing a lot of resentment towards that whole. It was strategized because they knew they were trying to block off any other candidates from being that, because now you have to go to Harris because, why didn't you? Okay, I understand what y'all was talking about. I completely understand. However.com, this is what you've been given.
Just what you got.
And whatever option you get is what you get.
Because there was a lot of
no
speculation.
Baby oil. Just take it.
If we want to be completely honest, we're acting like it was strategized, but let's not forget that in this process, they asked past President Obama and he did not support Kamala Harris for president.
He didn't. That was odd too.
So it's not. So we're acting like it was just all. So people are trying to say it was all a plot. But if it was a plot, why would the most popular Democratic president since JFK be like, "Oh no, I ain't supporting that"?
Yeah, but he didn't support Trump either. I mean, it's like,
well, why would he support Trump?
Man,
given all
You talking about some heating
Why
support
would-
Donald Trump.
Look, no, my point. My only point is
I'm not an American.
my-
He's still trying to say I'm a Kenyan that's illegally president, and you want me to be?
Right.
Yeah, we all good, bro.
right.
Man,
But
how'd you
look,
catch me?
my thing is Obama, to me, he was unifying parties. He was crossing the lines. He was bringing people together. He wasn't breaking them up.
It kept
He
when
wasn't.
except when it came to Donald J. When they started choosing that dude over all the, because there were a ton
But
of,
it was a retaliation. It was the same way. It was a response. It was the same way they say black people voted for Obama because he was black. Okay, the next one, we go into the other extreme. It was a response because we just had this brother in office.
Mm-hmm.
People can say it however they want to say it.
Listen,
you can twist it.
Here's the thing about
people.
Alan.
I don't like any of it.
About the United States. Is that better? How's that? Is that better? I'm further back. I got to remember to stay further away. You know what?
Yeah, or just turn the gain down or something.
Turn my radio down. So I think the thing that I think is weird about, I shouldn't say weird. The thing that annoys me about the United States is we act like we are a progressive nation, yet we're the only first world nation that still has not had a woman as a prime minister or president or any top official for the country. The only one. And most of them have.
Well, you about to see a first.
Oh wait, you said top official. Go ahead.
Haven't had.
As you were.
All sheet, sir. Not
you might as well get ready.
Get ready.
This could go either way.
Maybe.
Again, cue the music, man. I'm tired of this.
Black people can't be Republicans.
Are we cueing this music?
No, that music.
It was borderline. It's borderline because you pushing right the buttons today. Tell me something. Get ready for a female president, man. Cue the music.
I mean, you may as well get ready.
Hey, listen.
I'm just playing advocate. I'm playing advocate, and I really want to see this country as a whole just get better, man. Especially when it comes to politics and politicians. But I'm not going to hold my breath, and I will just the lesser of two evils. And what else can I say?
The lesser of two evils. You
what
want to
else
smoke
can I
crack
say?
or you want to smoke heroin? Come on, man. Come on, man.
I don't like needles, so here we
Cue
go.
the music, man. Cue the music. I'm done. I'm done.
I mean, the only thing I would say is, unfortunately, today, and really since it's almost been since Obama's second term, you aren't a person. You almost are who you identify as, meaning that there wasn't a stigma if you were a Republican. There wasn't a stigma if you were a Democrat until the orange man came along. And now all of a sudden there's a stigma, regardless of which party. People, if you're a MAGA Republican, they think you're an idiot if you're a Democrat. And if you're on the Democratic side, they think you're an idiot if you're a Republican. So if we're talking about division, we know who started it. We know who caused it.
Gotcha.
And people of that ilk. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I have nothing, man. In regards to politics, you go ahead and say it again because it completely cut you.
In all of this.
And it cut you again, bro. It's cutting you off. I guess they don't want it. I guess the public don't. They don't want you to get this message out.
Man, too hot for TV, bro. That's what it is. But like I said, regular people lose out. That's what happens every time. The regular people, all the people in the middle, lose out every time.
Got it. Okay. Gotcha. Well, with that being said, gentlemen, I don't have any closing remarks. I said I don't have any closing remarks, but I was about to say something, so I'm done. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Let's get some feedback on it, people. Let's get some feedback, people. Let's hear it.
Vote.
Calvin here for president.
If you don't do nothing, man, at least vote locally, man. In your area.
I always say, y'all, I'll do it. You don't want to do it, I'll do it.
For Suffolk City Council.
All right.
I'm out. Love y'all. Bye.
We'll see y'all next week.
Yeah.